You're watching TV 38.
Can AI help us develop a solution?
Now, the moments that matter most here at home and around the world. A deeper dive into the biggest stories impacting you and your family.
How can I use AI to be better at my job and stand out at my job?
Your wallet and your money.
Well, I think we'll take these loans to our graves, unfortunately.
The positive and the inspirational.
I decided, you know what? If I can't find any, I wanted to create my own.
I'm Tom Hanson. Your news starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Lisa Hughes. Police are investigating the death of a little boy at an auto repair shop in Cohasset. The DA's office says a piece of heavy machinery fell on the 2-year-old. His grandfather worked at this shop and actually ran the boy to a nearby police station, but the child couldn't be saved. Police say it appears to be an accident and does not seem suspicious. Now to an I-Team exclusive. WBZ obtained new video of Boston Mayor Michelle Wu's driver running another red light in Dorchester. Now, this comes just weeks after the mayor's cruiser got into a crash in Roslindale that led to injuries to a child. WBZ's chief investigator Cheryl Fiandaca has our story.
The I-Team obtained new video of Michelle Wu's unmarked Boston police cruiser with its emergency lights flashing going through a red traffic signal last Friday. Weeks earlier, the mayor's police driver activated the blue lights to run a red light at a busy Roslindale intersection. She collided with Rosemary Pena and her toddler. Both times, there was no emergency.
Kind of feels like an abuse of power. What kind of emergency could there really be that they need to use lights and sirens, honestly? And it would kind of get in the way of actual emergencies.
I don't think that's necessary.
But on WGBH Public Radio in June, the mayor said it was necessary, calling it fairly standard practice for dignitaries to use emergency lights to get around traffic.
That is something that is unusual and I think should and is used sparingly. I do have to get all around the city in all different locations. On my calendar today, I have 8 different meetings. Sometimes it is when there's an important commitment to get to, those lights and sirens do go on.
Sources say this news conference about Mass and Cass was the important commitment the mayor had to get to.
I think that's okay.
No, that's a no for me, honestly. Honestly, I can honestly say she's trying her best, but for you to use police sirens and there's other things that you should be worrying about and you're worried about getting to a meeting, that's a no-go for me.
These days, Rosemary says she has plenty to worry about. Her 18-month-old was hurt in the crash, and she is still getting physical therapy for her own injuries. The mom of 3 is now driving a borrowed van, telling the I-Team her car has $8,000 in damage and she has a $1,000 deductible. Boston police are investigating the crash. Department policy does not specifically mention using emergency lights to transport dignitaries, but it does require emergency vehicles to come to a complete stop when entering an intersection against the light. At the time of the crash, the mayor said she was not paying attention to the road.
I was on my phone and not really seeing what was happening as the lights were turned on in that intersection.
The I-Team asked the Boston police for an update on the investigation, but we did not hear back. Rosemary tells us she hired a lawyer and has filed a claim against the city. We also reached out to the mayor's office and were told the law department is working to resolve Rosemary's case. Cheryl Fiandaca, WBZ News.
Well, noise complaints about backyard volleyball games led to an investigation that police say uncovered a $1 million gambling ring. The investigators in Milford say it's been going on for years. WBZ's Beth Germano explains how the operation worked.
There's a volleyball net here, a volleyball net there.
Volleyball tournaments set up at this house just 2 doors down from the Milford police station on Franklin Street. But it's not just family and friends. Police say it's a front for a large-scale illegal gambling operation.
A strong social media presence of recruiting people to play in this group, and cash prizes, and outright betting and gambling.
The light is too bright and windows and go in the house.
Maria Carnero has been looking at the stadium lights mounted in the neighbor's backyard for some time. This drone photo shows how it's illuminated and the noise that goes with it.
And what's the noise like?
like scream, talk loud.
Pay-to-play games here in a yard that's been paved over to make way. Table games and the illegal sale of alcohol and cigarettes. The neighborhood complaints grew so loud the town set up a task force, and police finally swooped in with a warrant last Saturday night.
Like anything, a criminal element came into it, and people are profiting from it to the point that, in my estimation, you're looking in excess of almost $1 million a year.
And it's the hosts, they say, who are profiting. Arrested Saturday was the owner of the home, 43-year-old Luis Loja Caguano, and Zoila Castro allegedly selling the alcohol.
You have blatant misuse of property, and it's our job as elected and appointed officials to ensure that the quality of life of our residents and our neighborhood is protected.
Those neighbors dealing with the lights, noise, and cars, now hoping for some peace.
Autos, yelling, screaming, kids there at night. It's just like a big carnival.
Police want federal agencies to get involved, saying it's a much bigger organization than just a house in their town, but they hope they've put a dent in it for now. In Milford, I'm Beth Germano, WBZ News.
Well, it was a gorgeous day, and we have more ahead. Let's get to Eric Fisher for the details. Eric?
All right, Lisa. Good evening, everybody. A really comfortable one. Windows open. Temperatures 50s and low 60s. The air very dry. Dew points down in the 40s, mid-40s in some spots, and so that will allow us to have that feel of fall throughout the overnight into early tomorrow morning. Crystal clear skies overhead. You might notice Venus and Saturn. They're both pretty prominent in the sky. Chilly? Yeah, maybe. Depends on your threshold for that, but definitely a touch of September in the air. We'll wake up in the 40s. And most of our cooler spots in the 50s around the city centers and right along the coastline. And then a big turnaround. Nice warm up tomorrow. Lots of sunshine. Pretty much a perfect day. We'll be well up into the 70s. Again, cloudless sky. If you're heading to the beaches, the waves are coming down here. Still a low to moderate rip current risk as Franklin continues to churn offshore. Then each day will be a little bit warmer. Up around 80 on Saturday. Well into the 80s on Sunday. Both have the southwest breeze kicking up. And then on Monday, we're in the upper 80s and more humid outside. Just having 4 days, Friday through Monday, around a weekend without rain and with sunshine. That hasn't happened since Memorial Day weekend. So the summer is starting and ending with nice weekends, even though it was kind of filled with rain right in the middle. As for what follows, we'll be watching the tropics. Maybe some rain later next week. We'll take a look at those next 7 days coming up in a few minutes.
Tonight, we're taking a look at the future of work, from automation to artificial intelligence. There's no denying the job market in the United States is changing as companies adapt to new and powerful technology. In fact, many people in the workforce fear that AI could lead to millions of job cuts down the road. And Trayson Bragg joins me now with a closer look at how experts believe AI will impact our workforce. And Trayson, the question is, who, if anyone, needs to be worried about their jobs?
Well, that's so right, Tom. And experts believe the jobs that will most be affected or changed by AI are white-collar jobs like lawyers, accountants, and consultants. But an expert I spoke to says there is no need to panic because AI will also create new jobs. And he says the time to start preparing yourself for the future is now. I'm joined now by Jack Kelly, a senior Forbes contributor and the CEO of the compliance search group and WeCruiter. Jack, thanks so much for joining us today.
Such a fascinating and timely topic. Trayson, thank you for that interview. All right, next on Now, can you land your next job through a dating app? After the break, we talk to the experts, and their answer might surprise you. That's next.
Hey, Boston.
The verdict is in.
Hot Bench is coming to WBZ.
This fall, catch us weekdays at 3, right before Judge Judy.
And we'll see you in court.
From the Great Resignation to a white-hot labor market, the latest jobs numbers show our workforce might be returning to how it was before the pandemic began. But many who are still on the job hunt are trading sites like LinkedIn and ZipRecruiter for apps like Tinder and Hinge for their next potential job. So could this be the new frontier for job searching? Earlier, we spoke to an expert to find out. And more headlines from across the country and the world. That's after the break.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist Eric Fisher. Tonight, a little feel of some fall outside, that really crisp, dry air. After that, we begin the warming trend. It feels like summertime over the holiday weekend, so at least Memorial Day weekend and Labor Day weekend. They worked out for us here this particular summer in between all the rain. Humidity starts creeping back towards Sunday and into next week. We've got crystal clear skies tonight. The remnants of Idalia moving offshore. It's no longer a tropical system. Some models do try to bring whatever is left toward New England at the end of next week. Something we'll keep an eye on. Might bring us our next chance for some rain. That wouldn't be until at least Thursday of next week, so a long way off. In the meantime, tonight is dry with the dew points in the 40s and 50s. That allows our temperatures to fall back into the 40s and 50s. So cool morning tomorrow, maybe a little bit of that radiation fog on some of the ponds and the lakes if you're out early on. So you usually get a big difference between the air temperature and the water temperatures, which are still warm. And then a lot of sunshine, 70s, light winds. Great day tomorrow. Beautiful looking Friday. Low to mid 70s across the region. And the wave heights are starting to come down, but they're still a little elevated. And there is a moderate rip current risk. So be a little extra cautious if you're at the beach and jumping in the water over Friday. And they'll continue to diminish this weekend. As for the temperatures, they climb from around 80 on Saturday to well into the 80s on Sunday. And then Monday will feature more humidity. And it looks like that'll be the hottest field day on Labor Day itself. The dew points are very low Friday. They're kind of negligible on Saturday. Starts to get muggy on Sunday. And then Monday, yeah, we'll probably be feeling it, especially if you're away from the coastline, which will be a little bit cooler. And great weather to enjoy at the beach this weekend. Southwesterly winds on both Saturday and Sunday. Similar idea up toward the North Shore. Just a top around 70 tomorrow, upper 70s Saturday, and around 80 on Sunday. And up toward the Lakes region, certainly a summertime feel. Great weather to get out on the water. Got to take advantage. That sunshine starts disappearing fast in September. Sunsets at 7:20 right now, but it's before 7 starting on September 12th. All right, there's a look at our next 7. Warm into next week. Next rain chance looks to be around Thursday.
It starts with a question.
How big of a possibility is this?
What will it mean for your town? What happened? So what's yours? Let us know here. Question everything on WBZ News.
Here are your top headlines. The Biden administration will provide federal funding to Florida. He declared a major disaster declaration for the state at FEMA headquarters today. This comes as many people returned home after Idalia slammed ashore Wednesday morning. The now tropical storm is barreling through the Carolinas. Former President Donald Trump pleaded not guilty in the Georgia election subversion case. He entered the formal plea through court filings instead of being arraigned in person. This marks the 4th time Mr. Trump has pleaded not guilty to criminal charges since leaving the White House. So far, there's no official date set for the trial. And one of the Proud Boys leaders, Joe Biggs, has been sentenced to 17 years in prison. He led the march to the U.S. Capitol during the January 6th Capitol riots. This is the second longest sentence for a convicted Jan 6 rioter. All right, still to come, believe it or not, a robot could be changing your tires sooner than you think. How artificial intelligence is shaking up the auto industry.
Why did you buy that sledgehammer? You going to do some home improvement, or were you buying a murder weapon?
48 hours, 5 nights a week, coming this fall to TV 38.
The future of artificial intelligence in the auto industry.
The idea was create a tool that can help supplement what the technicians are working with today.
Implementing AI in the classroom.
For us, it's thinking about what do our kids need to know and do to be ready for their futures.
Saving money at the gas pump.
I do think that the trend will remain downwards for the potential of the next few weeks.
And inspiring black girls to love their self-image.
Just supporting my mission to raise the next generation of growing confident girls.
As new tech is being introduced in a growing number of industries, the next time you need a tire change, you may find a robot working on your vehicle. But as Trace and Bragg explains, tire technicians shouldn't be worried just yet. So interesting. Trayson, thank you. Now some of the moments that matter most in your community and your neighborhood.
I'm going to be honest with you. This is the first time I've ever been excited to unbox a scale. Thanks to Reathlete. This is Counto. It's a smart scale that's going to measure so much more than your weight. This is going to help us sustain and maintain a healthy lifestyle as we get older, thanks to everything else that it measures. So after I had my son, I realized that the number on the scale was only one small part of measuring good health. Now, you download the app, and this is going to measure your body weight, of course, but but also your skeletal muscle rate, things like your basal metabolic rate, your muscle mass, your body fat, bone mass, you name it. Things that I really love though, the body water and the body age. Very interesting. So easy to use, just like any scale. You step on it, but step on it with bare feet, and it sends a signal through your body, and the signal can move more easily through muscle than fat. And that's how it gets all the info. And I love because everything is on my phone. I could take this to the doctor and show him the trends. So I have everything with me at all times. This is such a great deal. Right now we are offering 38% off the Counto scale. Head to cbsdeals.com for this exclusive offer.
Hi, everyone. When police officers stop to play pickup basketball with kids, it often makes news because it's unusual. Well, in tonight's Changemakers, I found a Watertown police officer who connects with kids like that every day.
I got some good stuff for you guys. How was camp today?
Watertown officer Anna Margarian realized as a teenager this was her calling.
I just kind of kept going back to this idea that I want to help people, and I didn't think there was anything cooler or better than being a police officer.
And in her hometown, the community that welcomed her parents from Armenia months before Anna was born. How did your mom and dad feel about you becoming a police officer?
They definitely weren't too thrilled when I said it. It's not a career that most women in Armenia go into, I'd say, or it's not as common.
But seeing her commitment to serving Watertown, they were all in. 3 years after graduating in the Police Academy's COVID class of 2020, she's investing in Watertown's kids.
I want them to grow up in a community that they recognize the police officers as someone that they can just hang out with and have fun, or someone that they can call upon.
Building connections and trust on every patrol. If it's quiet on the street, you'll find her on the playground.
I can do tag.
The court.
Now we play defense, Maddie. It's okay.
And checking in at Camp Pequasset.
What up? How are you?
Where many campers use her nickname.
We had a field trip to the police station, and she just introduced herself as Princess Anna.
Anna, Princess.
The late camp and after-school director Bob Galante gave her that nickname years ago, and it stuck.
Harry, my name's Princess Anna. All right, let's go play. Ready?
And now removes any barrier that might come with the badge.
It kind of just eases that relationship. When they get a chance to know Princess Anna, they're like, that's really cool. I've never met a princess.
Campers like Ellie Curtis call her a friend.
I just don't really notice her tool belt a lot or her uniform because I just like playing with her a lot.
I just think she's really fun.
It's purposeful play parents like Darlene McIntyre appreciate.
We're everywhere, and we see her everywhere. So whatever the community things are happening, she's there.
What difference do you think that makes?
I think that makes a huge difference in the sense of the comfort of knowing that there's somebody, in the police department that they can relate to and that they can, go to if they have any problems.
It's cool to see her because she's like a police officer, and police officers help around the world.
The officer who helped Anna's family when their home caught fire in 2009 made a lasting impression.
And she kind of put us in the police car with the German Shepherd and took care of us while the firefighters did their job. It was really cool seeing her help us.
Anna now serves with Detective Sergeant Sheila Grady-Duguay.
She was there just doing what needed to be done. You guys ready for school? Did we do our summer reading?
That's what Anna does now, sometimes catching kids by surprise.
Hi, Ik. Yes, Salam, hi. No way.
These brothers at Victory Field were so stunned to be speaking with her in their language, they called their mom.
There's a police officer here who speaks Armenian, and we're playing basketball with her. So it's really cool.
And then she came down and took your picture.
She did want to come down and meet me.
And next month, Officer Princess Anna will celebrate her first anniversary as the school resource officer at the middle school she attended.
She's a leader.
Captain Dan Unsworth says Anna's dedication to community policing already makes her a role model.
Although she's early in her career, those kids she's impacting now, it'll change them years down the road.
A road she is proud to travel in a city she loves.
It is honestly a privilege for me to serve the people of Watertown. I wouldn't want to do anything else. I'll see you, okay?
One thing, though, she says she would change right now, if she could, is the availability of resources for people who need help, particularly young people who need mental health services. Her goal is to build relationships with kids that will last so that when they're adults, even in a tough situation, they feel a part of the community and make good choices. We've got some very good weather here. We are enjoying it today and for the next few. Let's turn it over to Eric now for the specifics. Eric?
Yeah, today was a perfect 10 with that bright blue sky, nice dry northerly breeze, and it's a comfortable evening in the 50s and low 60s out there. The dew points, they're in the 40s and 50s. That's what allows us to really cool off, especially with those clear skies, good stargazing weather. So tomorrow morning, absolutely a little feel of early fall outside. We'll see a lot of 40s, I think, on the board as we start the day. Some 50s in the cities and right along the coastline, but many spots in the suburbs will likely see some 40s in the morning out the door. So a little steam coming off some of the ponds and the lakes out there, and then we'll warm up. This is what we do usually at the end of summer and early fall. You get the cooler mornings and the big temperature turnarounds will be up into the 70s with a cloudless sky tomorrow. As we get toward the beaches, there'll still be some higher wave action. They're coming down as Franklin moves a little bit farther offshore. There's still a moderate risk of rip currents, so be cautious if you're jumping in the water. And many people will be heading to the beach this weekend. It's kind of like a summer do-over here. A lot of weekends did not feature easy weather to get outside, make plans, and not even think about it. This weekend does. Around 80 on Saturday, well into the 80s on Sunday, and Monday will be well into the 80s and more humid as we get toward Labor Day. Humidity will not be an issue tomorrow or Saturday. Sunday gets muggier. Monday's where we definitely start to feel more of that summertime air. So heading to the beach, you're in good shape. A little cool tomorrow maybe for hanging out on the sand, but not an issue on Saturday and Sunday. It's the same story up toward the North Shore. So make some plans, head out and enjoy.
One of the hottest topics right now is the emergence of artificial intelligence and its use in schools. It's creating opportunities, risks, and questions about its impact on creativity and critical thinking. While some schools are banning the use of AI in classrooms, one school district in Gwinnett County, Georgia, went all in, launching a curriculum that brings the technology into classrooms, starting all the way in kindergarten. All right, next on Now, filling up your gas tank could soon get cheaper. What you can expect at the pump this Labor Day weekend. Next. Over to your health now. The first over-the-counter drug used to reverse opioid overdoses is expected in retail stores and online as soon as next week, according to its manufacturer. All right, next on Now, making your dreams come true.
I decided, you know what, if I can't find any, I wanted to create my own.
How this girl is helping inspire more black girls to be confident in themselves. That's next.
Seinfeld, weeknights at 11 on TV 38.
Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist Eric Fisher. Tonight, a little feel of some fall outside, that really crisp, dry air. After that, we begin the warming trend. It feels like summertime over the holiday weekend, so at least Memorial Day weekend and Labor Day weekend. They worked out for us here this particular summer, in between all the rain. Humidity starts creeping back towards Sunday and into next week. We've got crystal clear skies tonight. The remnants of Idalia moving offshore. It's no longer a tropical system. Some models do try to bring whatever is left toward New England at the end of next week. Some that we'll keep an eye on. Might bring us our next chance for some rain. That wouldn't be until at least Thursday of next week, so a long way off. In the meantime, tonight is dry with the dew points in the 40s and 50s. That allows our temperatures to fall back into the 40s and 50s. So cool morning tomorrow, maybe a little bit of that radiation fog on some of the ponds and the lakes if you're out early on. So you usually get a big difference between the air temperature and the water temperatures, which are still warm. And then a lot of sunshine, 70s, light winds. Great day tomorrow. Beautiful looking Friday. Low to mid 70s across the region. And the wave heights are starting to come down, but they're still a little elevated. There is a moderate rip current risk. So be a little extra cautious if you're at the beach and jumping in the water over Friday. And they'll continue to diminish this weekend. As for the temperatures, they climb from around 80 on Saturday to well into the 80s on Sunday. And then Monday will feature more humidity. And it looks like that'll be the hottest field day on Labor Day itself. The dew points are very low Friday. They're kind of negligible on Saturday. Starts to get muggy on Sunday. And then Monday, yeah, we'll probably be feeling it, especially if you're away from the coastline, which will be a little bit cooler. And great weather to enjoy at the beach this weekend. Southwesterly winds on both Saturday and Sunday. Similar idea up toward the North Shore. Just a top around 70 tomorrow, upper 70s Saturday, and around 80 on Sunday. And up toward the lakes region, certainly a summertime feel. Great weather to get out on the water. Got to take advantage. That sunshine starts disappearing fast in September. Sunset's at 7:20 right now, but it's before 7 starting on September 12th. All right, there's a look at our next 7. Warm into next week. Next rain chance looks to be around Thursday.
And finally, here on this Thursday night, to hope now. An 11-year-old girl in Atlanta is taking the business world by storm with her own line of black and brown girl dolls. Trace Bragg shares her story. Just goes to show you are never too young to be a trailblazer. Trayson, thank you. And before we go, we have some news of our own to share with you. Tonight is our last show. We want to thank you, the audience, for joining us every night to deliver you the news. It's been an honor and a privilege to bring you the biggest stories. So with that, for the final time, thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night.
Community starts here.
I want people to come in and feel like this is where I belong. I'm going to learn here.
Coming together, working for better.
What can we do to help change things that aren't right?
WBZ News, a Greater Boston starts here. It's back to school and back to reality.
And we're here to get you back to your morning routine.
WBZ News Mornings.
Thanks for starting the day with us.
Getting you ready for the day.
A busy morning today. We begin with...
And prepared for what's next.
We are still going to be watching for more showers and thunderstorms.
A great day
So inspiring.
starts here.
Everybody's having a fantastic time.
WBZ News Mornings. Weekdays starting at 4:30 a.m.